We have been talking about classification. Now let us talk about taxonomic hierarchy. First of all, what is it? It is the systematic arrangement. Now, what is systematic arrangement? It is the arrangement of an organism in a framework which is according to the classification, and that framework, if we have to define what is taxonomic hierarchy, it would be the arrangement of organism into a systematic framework of classification. I am repeating it, that a systematic arrangement of classification, there is a framework, proper framework where we have orderly arrangement. So that framework of classification, and that is highly systematic, that is known as taxonomic hierarchy. You need not to confuse this systematic word with systematics, because I am trying to use it that it is an orderly arrangement, or you can say that orderly framework of classification is taxonomic hierarchy, and accordingly we put the organism in the particular taxon wherever we have to fit it. Now this taxonomic hierarchy is inclusive of the various taxons, and those taxons, they include the orderly arrangement in such a way that the lowest taxon has the least most similar characteristics of an organism, and the highest one, it has the least similar ones. Now what are the characteristics of this taxonomic hierarchy? First of all, we have the highest order, that is known as kingdom. Then we have phylum. After that there is class. Then we have order. Then we have family. Then we have genus, and then we have species. Now these are the units. I will not use the term units for them. These are the taxons. Now we are going to start from species. There is another way of remembering it. If you can't remember it, there is an acronym which is used for them. That is keep, pot, clean, or family gets sick. It is keep, pot, clean, or family gets sick. Trust me, even I remembered it that way. So it would be easier for you to remember that it is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. And what do we use it? I am going to write over here in case you might be aware of it. You would have learned it, I guess, when you do it in your lower classes. So this is what we have: keep, pot, clean, or family gets sick. Easier than remembering these names, but once you are familiar with it, you will remember these names as well. So we start from species. Now species, you know that first thing about species, again I am making you recall that it was the term was given by John Ray, and species is the basic unit of this classification as well as evolution. So for evolutionary studies, the basic unit happens to be species. For the studies of classification and systematics and taxonomy, the basic unit is species. Now how do we define a species? Species includes the organisms which can interbreed, okay, which can breed among themselves. That is like we have the case of, you can take the case of lion supposedly. So a lion can interbreed with a lion, and it is going to be, all the lions are going to form a single species. Now these species, the organisms in a species have the maximum characters which are similar. So we see that the organisms will be having similar characters, and that would be maximum in number. But when we rise to the higher level in the hierarchy, when we increase in hierarchy, what we find is that the species, supposedly there were 100 organisms which were similar. As we include the genus is going to include few species in itself, few species comprising a genus, and the organisms will have yet lesser characteristics which would be common. Rising further and further and further, the characters are going to decrease, the similar characters are going to decrease. So you can make it out that in case of species there would be highest number of similar characters, and in case of kingdom the similar characters would be least, but yes, they would be similar. There would be, supposedly you had 100 similar characters in the level of species. In the kingdom there won't be, like, you won't find that there won't be any similar character. They would be reduced to 5 or they could be 2, but yes, they would be similar. So we are going to consider the example of one mammal and one angiosperm, that is we are going to study, and from that you are going to get it little bit more clear. Then a few species, they comprise the genus. Now we are going to take the example of mango in the case of angiosperms, and we are going to take the example of human beings in the case of mammals. Okay, I need to clear this up. When we talk about mango, its specific name is indica. Okay, the specific name is indica. As I have written it in small way, you know that the scientific names are to be considered. And for the human beings, the specific name is sapiens. Alright, so these are the two specific names. This is species, all the interbreeding, those mangoes which are capable of, those plants I would say, those which are capable of interbreeding, they would be comprising the species of mango, and human beings, they would be comprising the species of human. Sapiens is the specific epithet. Now many species would have similar character and they would be common species under the genus. So over here we have Mangifera, which is the genus of mango, and over here we have Homo. So we get the genus and the species, we get the scientific names of the organisms. We are considering mango over here and we are considering human beings over here. Then coming to family, mango's family is Anacardiaceae. Okay, this is the family of mango, and in case of human beings the family is hominid. Okay, so you see in the family Anacardiaceae you are going to find mango and other genus as well. So as we rise to the next level, that is family, what we see is that the number of organisms have increased and the number of similar characters have decreased. As in the case of Hominidae, the number of organisms is increasing, but at the same time the number of similar characters have decreased. Like we have other organisms which belong to this. You might have heard about aboriginals who are found in Australia. They are also the members of Hominidae, but they do not have similar characters like we human beings have. And then the next one, in the case of mango, the order is Sapindales, and in case of human beings the order happens to be Primates. Now all the monkeys, chimpanzees and rest, they come under order Primata. So you see that number of organisms is increasing but the similar characters are decreasing. So the order comprises of few families. When few families would be present, they would have genus and species and more number. So the organism number is going to increase in any case. Talking about the class of mango, mango belongs to class Dicotyledonnae. Now you know that when we talk about plants, we have two major classes. One is dicots and one is monocots. When we talk about dicots, all the dicotyledonous seed bearing trees, they are in Dicotyledonnae. And over here in human beings the class is Mammalia. Now you see when we come to the level of class, in Mammalia we see whale also under similar class, blue whale, and dolphins also. We talk about elephants, all these are included in class Mammalia. How we started from the basic level of human beings and how we have reached till Mammalia. Talking about the phylum, because we are considering a plant over here, the phylum word is replaced by division. in case of plants. Okay, so the division in case of mango is angiospermy, that it belongs to angiosperm class. It is not a gymnosperm nor a pteridophyte in rest of the classification that you're going to study. It belongs to the division angiospermy, and this particular belongs to phylum Chordata. Now when I talk about Chordata, phylum Chordata, I am including everything which has a notochord. It starts from a frog. So you see that the similar characters are decreasing so much and the organisms are getting more and more diverse. When we talk about kingdom, this kingdom is Plantae. So all the organisms which have cellulose cell wall in their cells, they would be in Plantae, and this is Animalia. All the organisms which do not have a cell wall. So you see how we started from the main basic level and till where we have reached. What we find is that the kingdom is the highest level of organization, while then we have phylum or division, phylum in case of animals and division in case of plants. Just excuse me, these lines that I am making, they're quite asymmetrical, I would say. So this is the tabloid representation where we have distinguished how a plant classification varies from that of animal. But what is the basic that you have to understand, basic thing that you have to understand out of this? What I am trying to make you understand out of all this is that in this taxonomic hierarchy, from where we started, we have step by step increase in the taxons and step by step increase in the number of organisms which would be considered, and step by step decrease in the similar characters. So this is all about taxonomic hierarchy. I hope these two examples would have helped you in understanding the hierarchy, and you have to remember that it is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. You have to remember this in terms of this specific order. And the acronym that I gave you, that was keep pot clean or the family gets sick, you have to remember it by that. And these two examples, if you can remember them by heart, it would be good, because in case you're being asked that how do you explain a taxonomic hierarchy, it would be better being explained with the help of an example, both in case of plant and an animal. So I hope you're quite clear with taxonomic